Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 9 Chinese Collector Heavy Tank, the BZ-74-1. I'll be honest, this is one of the coolest looking tanks that Wargaming's ever put into the game, mainly because of this legendary camo. I love the way this camo looks. I love the way it has this ice effect on the front, and then it's got like a low taper fade into this dragon style on the back. This is one of the best legendary skins Wargaming's done in a while. It's a shame that we don't have skins like this on other vehicles like the BZ-176, which doesn't have anything. Kind of sad, but point being, this is a really cool skin, and I hope Wargaming does more stuff like this in the future. As I always say, I'm not only here for historical skins. I think this looks epic, and I think most people are going to agree. With that being said, there's a downside to this vehicle, and that is the ridiculous amount of experience, credits, gold, premium, and boosters it cost me to get this tank. See, if we make our way over to the clandestine lab, we can see the event. Now, getting the Shrek TVP or the Super Hellcat, pretty decent, actually. If you have a solid amount of resources, you can easily get the Shrek TVP. I mean, just with my credits alone, I could get almost a Shrek TVP. That's pretty solid. But to get the BZ-74-1, you need 100 legendary cards. And to get 100 legendary cards, you need to open the deluxe limited edition containers. These give you 2 common, rare, or epic, and then legendary. And each one has to exchange into the next, so it's a losing trade. It's just like free experience. You have to exchange each one into a larger and larger certificate. Well, that's how Wargaming did it for these as well, except you lose on each certificate exchange. So, how many resources did it cost me to get the BZ-74-1? Well, let's talk about it. It cost me about 10,000 epic boosters, 300 days of premium, 200 million credits, and 86,000 gold. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and 3 million free XP. All of that to get one Tier 9. Just the gold alone would have been enough to be like, wow, this is overpriced. But then you add on all the other stuff. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry, Wargaming. This is the most pay-to-win thing you've done in a while. It's stupid. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to be able to get their hands on this vehicle unless they get incredibly lucky with the 1% drop chance. I don't know why we have to make things so hard to get. Why can't we just make these vehicles available for people for like $100 and call it a day? Instead, we have to charge like ridiculous price tag levels. But with that being said, we're going to talk about the tank today. I'm going to be giving you my full honest opinions on the vehicle and everything else like that. I always like to get these tanks on my main account, and the main reason why is because it makes my opinions honest. If you're a CC and you just get this vehicle for free in your press account, it's not going to mean as much than somebody like me who just spent 8 years worth of resources on one tank. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's start off with the statistics of this vehicle. It does have a very nice gun. 460 damage per shot, 2200 DPM. It's got pretty solid levels of penetration. In general, this is a very, very nice gun when it comes to the alpha and the overall capabilities there. Even the DPM is really good. Not to mention, its dispersion with refined gun is pretty solid, and its aiming time isn't bad either. The gun is definitely the major selling point of this vehicle, but mobility, not bad either. Top speed of 45 kilometers per hour, reverse is at 15, its power to weight ratio is 17. We'll have to see what that power to weight ratio actually feels like, because if it has a super high top speed but it never gets there, or its traverse speed sucks, then I might have to take away some points, but we will have to see. When it comes to the armor, it's not great, I'll be honest. The armor's pretty mid. I'm running enhanced armor on the vehicle, and this is what it looks like on flat ground against calibrated shells. So the upper plate's about 226, meaning that really only low rolling pens or tier 8s are going to bounce you. Now, if you are using the 7 degrees of gun depression the vehicle has, yeah, you might be able to get some bounces, but even then, it's really not that strong. I mean, anybody loading gold, especially tier 10s, are going to butter right through that upper plate. And it's not just the upper plate, it's the turret. The turret's about 280 millimeters effective. Against gold heat shells, it's like 290. That's just really not enough. Even with rammer, most tier 10s have over 300 mils of pen. So yeah, 300 is like the bare minimum. And what that means is you're not going to struggle to pen this tank. Unless you're in like a tier 8, and even then, most tier 8s have over 300 mils as long as you're running Cali. So yeah, I mean, if you're running rammer, you won't pen it much. But apart from that, I mean, even this tank with rammer still cuts right through. its armor is not that impressive. That's what I will say. It does have a boat-shaped hull, though, which means the side armor can actually be pretty troll and pretty decent at side scraping, which is quite nice. It is a patent hull. That's literally what it is. It's an M48 patent hull with a Chinese gun and turret, which I guess isn't too bad. We can actually see the traverse speed, and actually, it's pretty good. Yeah, the mobility looks very nice on this tank. If the mobility is good, and the alpha is good, and the DPM is good, and the accuracy is good, but the armor's mid, that's fine with me. Especially when you realize that we have tanks like the Object 260 in Tier 10. And the Object 260 doesn't have gun depression. It doesn't have great pen. It doesn't have anything truly remarkable about it, I guess, apart from solid mobility and maybe decent DPM. But this tank, if you compare it to the Object 260, definitely seems to have a lot more going for it. The gun has high alpha. Its DPM is really solid for a Tier 9 heavy. It's got decent accuracy. Its penetration is fine for the tier that it's at. And the mobility seems really good. So I'm actually very excited to try out this tank. And especially when you pair that with the camo, I think this is going to be a fun experience. A lot of you always ask me to play Tier 10s when I do a Tier 9 review. And it's the same thing for a Tier 8. You want to see Tier 9 gameplay. And it's understandable. I obviously would also want to see how a new tank would do against higher tiers if it could fight them. And normally the only reason why I don't do that is because when a new tank gets released, I try to get my video out early so you guys can have a good idea on it. But at the same time, I figured it'd be best to give you guys a Tier 10 battle. So here we are. This is a live game, as you can see from the directional arrows. And we'll see how it does. I've played 10 games in the tank so far. It's been about 2 hours since the event went live. And well, we'll see how this works. Up against us, we have a 2 and 5E, Chieftain, Sheridan, E3, E4. That's a really, 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 really cringe lineup. Wow. Our mediums are going to the medium side. However, our heavies, well, I don't know what the heck our BZ's doing, bro. Like, why? Just why? Okay. Well, we are going to hopefully cross this. This tank is fast. Like, 45 is quick. It's quicker than any heavy they have on their team apart from maybe the Chieftain. So realistically, well, actually, you know what? I'm just going to get a nice shell into the Chieftain. It's a dub for me. We evenly traded, essentially, our health there. Except I have less health to begin with, so that's a win for me. Alright, well, we have the Sheridan, who is over here. We have the Sent, who's over here. We have the Luis, who's doing whatever the heck the Luis is doing. Aiming. Bonk. There you go. Nice 377 damage shell into the Centurion. Not bad. Our Luis committed suicide. Wow. Great player, as usual. Alright, let's reload again. We have another shell now. And what's the Sheridan gonna do? Not able to hit the Sheridan. I don't want to over-aggress. I really don't. I feel like that's a bad play. Yes, there you go. Nice shot into the Sheridan. I can definitely tell you, the gun is nice on this tank. Like, being able to roll people for 460 in a Tier 9, you know, that part of this tank feels really, really solid. We have the E4. There you go, 513. Like, the gun is good. It has APCR standard, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's not that big of a problem that, like, you can't deal with it. We have the Chieftain on our flank, and let's aim it on the side. Ugh, went an inch too high. It's alright, though. It's alright. We're going to reload. We're going to put on our adrenaline, and you can see the 2 and 5B over here. I'm going to maneuver right here, aim it on the 2 and 5B. There you go, 450. Easy stuff. We're up to a solid amount of damage now. Chieftain shoots my teammate. We're going to move up and try and help out this IS-7. I think that's really the best play to make here. So let's do that right now. There you go. 450 damage shell into you. We're up to 2,700 now. It's doing pretty good so far. The 2 and 5B is completely blind and did not notice the grill that shot him. And there you go. 502. Sweet. Not going to waste my time on that anymore because the grill's going to kill him. So we're going to head over to the Kampf Panzer 70 and the T110E3. Alright, well, let's start off with the KPZ. We can see the gun depression on this vehicle being... Oh, that's so sad. That shell is, like, this close. I don't want to, like, YOLO out in front of an E3 and a KPZ. That's not what I would consider an ideal play, personally. We reload. 3, 2, 1. Nah, whatever. I wasn't going to shoot him because he only had 100 HP, but I'll take some damage anyway. We're up to 3,300. It's not like I need to focus that much more on damage. We're going to head to the side of the E3, get behind, and boom, 592 high explosive. That's got to hurt a lot, honestly. That's got to hurt a lot. We're up to 4,000 damage now. pretty good. Honestly, not a bad game at all. And a great example of where this tank does well. You never want to be the center of attention in this tank, because it doesn't have the armor to be the center of attention. Trust me, I've learned that throughout the, 5 or so games I've played in it now. Let me see how many games I've played in it. Let's see. I have played 7 games in it, and yeah, I mean, I'm averaging 3,300. My teams have sucked. I'm going 43%, but when I'm averaging 3,300, whatever, right? But we can clearly see that if you're playing it midline, you can get a decent farm out, and you can also get some pretty good mobility and damage, and the accuracy is nice. This is what I actually consider to be a well-balanced tank. Now, I do think that the turret should be a little stronger. I think the turret should be about maybe 320. That way, against tier 8s, you will reliably get bounces on the turret. The other option is give it like 8 degrees of gun depression and about 100 more DPM. I think it's balanced, but the problem is, as you guys know, we're in a meta where balance is kind of considered meh. So if you actually want to keep up with the competition, vehicles like the Kampfpanzer 70, the T-30, the Kampfpanzer 07 PE, the Cobra, you kind of have to be better than average. And that's the only problem that you'll run into with this tank, is that it's just a little bit lower than possibly what you would want. But that's fine. I don't know what the heck that BZ was doing. Honestly, that's why you don't cross there. Like, that player probably thought, oh, I'm in a quick heavy, I can get across that gap. No, you can't. Don't cross that gap. Because sure, it might go well once, but it doesn't mean every time you cross that gap, it's going to go well for you. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Well, I will take the 3,000 damage. I know that I hit my shell on the BZ now because the damage marker badge told me. All right, let's move up. The Luva misses me. Okay. B-75 shoots me. Can't hit that. Cringe. Whatever. I don't know why the E-75 was focused on me to begin with, but it's fine. We're just going to head over here and keep on going over the hill. Keep on going over the hill. All right. Oh, we got the Kanonen. Yes, that was a dub. That was an absolute dub. 600 damage, 18 to the lower plate there of that Kanonen. Such a good example of where the alpha damage of this tank does feel really nice. And being able to... Annoying. Alright, let's aim it on the lower plate again. Oh, that went high. That sucks. Back up, back up, back up. I don't want to be shot again. I know it's the TS5 that's camping in the back. Actually, I don't think I got spotted. Huh. Unless I was spotted the whole time, which is... It's plausible. But I don't think so. I don't think so. We have the 50 TP in the back. Come on, back up. Come on. You know you want to. Screw it! Okay. Then he shoots and backs up. Okay. Kring. Very Kring. Okay, yeah, it is the TS5, which was obviously expected. Alright, let's aim it on you. I'm gonna be penned by that. No, I'm not. The armor's working, surprisingly. I want to get damage. And this game's not letting me get damage. My RNG is not working. Can we stop shooting me for a second, Mr. I'm gonna camp in a super heavily armored TD? Like, I get it. You want to camp, whatever, but annoying. That's the only word. But don't worry. I've got a present in store for you, and it's called me spotting you on that ridge. So, you're gonna have fun in a moment, my dude. You're gonna have fun in a moment. Let's move up, and there he is. Yep. Wow, what a shocker. Well, here you go. Let me aim it on your lower plate. Nice 464 right there for you. Oh, you think I'm done with you? No, the party has just begun, Samuel. I'm coming right for you, bro. You are getting more damage stripped off of your vehicle. Let's head on up. At least the mobility... Oh, my God. What a monkey. At least the mobility on this tank's pretty good again. Like, that part of the vehicle, I do actually really like. There you go. Yeah, not so fun now, is it? No, it's not so fun when I get to your side, is it? Alright, let's reload. I'm gonna get the last laugh. I'm gonna do HE just to insult to you. Yeah. Alright, not a bad game. We ended up dealing 3,000 damage and getting a win. I mean, the gun, it's a little troll. It's got APCR standard, and at the end of the day, it's a 130mm gun, so don't expect it to just snap shots. But it's solid, and as we can see, I did 3,200 damage. I blocked 1,200. I think the tank's fine. I think it's fine. It's not a vehicle you're going to see me drive all too often, especially when tanks like the 50 TP exist. At the end of the day, you know, the 50 TP kind of is just better. Where is the 50 TP? Here it is. I mean, look at the 50 TP stats, right? You look at the vehicle, and the 50 TP has better standard pen, it's got AP, it has tungsten, it has the same alpha damage, and sure, its DPM is worse, but it's not like a lot worse. Its dispersion's actually better. And mobility-wise, even though this tank says 36 base, you have to remember gear oil exists, so you can actually get that up to 40, and you can reverse faster in this vehicle. It has more gun depression at 8 degrees, and the biggest advantage of the 50 TP is if we go over to Tier 9 heavies, and we take a look at the 50, you're going to notice that the turret armor on this tank is just flat better in every way. So, like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's a worse tech tree. Like, it's worse than a tech tree tank. It's not a great vehicle. But I had fun in it. I think the gun's alright. And I do like the mobility. The mobility is the major advantage the tank has over something like the 50 TP. You guys can let me know your personal feelings about the vehicle in the comments, but don't be too bummed if you don't get it. My favorite part about the tank is just how it looks. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.